Well, hello. It is another beautiful day. It is supposed to be 19 degrees here in Southern Ontario. That is Celsius. And I was just at my gallery, Crown and Press, and I'm getting ready to go to Wales next week. And I was told by Justin, my manager, I had this big piece to embellish. So I thought I would get on here and do a short video, show you a little bit about embellishing this piece, this wonderful big piece. I don't even know the name. September Days. This is September Days. And I'm going to be embellishing this today. I'm back. Just got to get set up. I have a palette that is ready to go. And I'm going to be using this to embellish. And what embellishing is, while I go off camera and find my supplies, embellishing, get my water. Embellishing is when I go back into a print and I add texture and reinterpret it. Excuse me. So that is what I'm doing today. And I have a bit of a cold, which you might hear, but I just thought I'd get on and chat with you and embellish this with you. So I need some white. I love embellishing. I love getting back to paintings that I've done before and see what people like when they order them. You can order an embellished painting off my website anytime. And what embellishing does is it this is what I call it. I've come up with this. I don't know if I'm the only one that's come up with this, but I came up with this. It's reinventing the image. And I really have a blast doing this. And it does not make this piece an original. But what it does do is it makes it a unique piece. And you can probably tell my voice is a little bit raspy. I have no idea why, but it is. So here I'm coming in with the orange. I'm using up a palette. This is actually great timing because I'm going to Wales and I've thought that I was done painting for a little bit because I'm going for 3 weeks. And I thought I was done, but then I found out that I had to get this done. So here I am working on this. This morning, Kay, who you will meet in other videos, was here and we did a whole bunch of taping today for some other YouTube opportunities. For videos. We did a question and answer. So honestly, if you have any questions at all, let me know in the comments and we will use them. We'll look that up and we'll use them for future content. And I will answer. So that video should be out in the next couple of weeks. So I'm pretty quick. I paint the image virtually the same way that I do when I initially paint it. And what it does is it causes it to be a unique piece because I simply cannot reproduce the strokes the exact same way, nor can I ever embellish the piece in the same way a second time. So every embellished image becomes a unique piece. So I'm adding paint and I kind of do what I do when I'm painting, I kind of go all over, especially when I'm using a specific color on my brush. And this is a good opportunity. I usually find I love to do the embellishing when I have a palette that is almost done, a little gummy, and I go back in and I use it because it's the paint is a little thick, but it looks like I'm going to have to add a few colors to my palette. So, do any of you out there embellish paintings? Have you ever thought about embellishing paintings? Do you know how to embellish paintings? So that's why I'm here. And I'm just chatterboxing because there's nobody here to talk to me. So I'm just rambling. But you see, I'm pretty quick. Embellishing a piece, I try to do a third to a quarter of the whole thing again. So you're getting a lot of value. And what's nice about embellishing is that a lot of the decisions have been made. So I mean the color choices, the values, they've been made with the original painting. So I get to go in and just revisit and add texture and strokes and reinterpret. So as a customer, you never get the same piece. So right now I'm working all of these, the browns and the oranges with my nickel gold paint and my burnt siennas, trying to build up and use up the paint that's on my palette. Because whatever's on my palette, I want to use up because I am, like I said, I'm going away. So I don't want to waste it because I'm not starting any new pieces right now. I don't want to waste it. I want it to use it all up. And if I use these colors that are on my palette and kind of get most of the painting done, then that's great. Then I'm being efficient and cheap and allowing the frugal part of me to live. My husband is Dutch. I am not Dutch, even though my last name would indicate that I was Dutch. I always say my children are Dutch. And is it terrible to say, you know, the Dutch are cheap? And they would be very proud of me that I am using up my paint. And you can see I'm fast and efficient. I hardly wash my brush because somehow I'm able to keep the paints fresh. But here you go. I'm going to wash it now. It's getting a little thick for me. I'm kind of touching all over the painting. And again, I'm using up colors that are on my palette before I add more because I want to be as efficient as possible. So this one is also getting a black frame, which is an option through my printer. Okay, so I have used a lot of the sienna. So before I add more sienna to my palette, I'm going to go in and I'm going to use some other colors, but I know that I'm going to need a little more yellow. So I think I'm going to add yellow right now to my palette instead of frustrating myself and not having it available. I think I will just add that now. Okay. This mixed with Indian yellow will give me lots of texture that I'll add. And I tend to be a little goopier than I am in my original paintings. So a lot of times my embellished works are actually more textural than my original. And did I say my voice is really scratchy today? And I don't know why, but it is. So here, I'm going to do some of the lights. If I stop talking, it's because I'm thinking. And apparently I can't talk and think at the same time. So I'm thinking about what colors to add, where to add them. Here I'm going to do a little bit of red and blue. See, okay, that was interesting. I'm going to show you what just happened. I have red and green and a little bit of yellow on my brush. And I picked up a green and I managed to combine them on the canvas without them blending too much and getting muddy. And it's created a really nice, new, unique streak. Cool. I like it when that happens. It's, like I said, it's a new interpretation of the painting. So I probably won't get this fully embellished with you today, but you get the idea. You see, I just go over and I try not to be too precious about it because I honestly want it to be a fresh, new interpretation. And again, I blend on the canvas. I pick up multiple colors like you saw in that little demonstration. I pick up multiple colors on my brush and I tend to mix right on the canvas, and that creates a really neat stroke. It really does. I think you should try it. Pick up several colors and just let the paintbrush do the mixing. So I'm so excited. Let me tell you about Wales. I'm going to Wales with friends and my husband, and we are spending 3 weeks there, and it's going to be great. I am bringing a sketchbook, which in my question and answer video that's coming up, someone asked if I would ever show my sketchbook. And I said, well, that's really interesting because I don't really keep a sketchbook. I'm not an artist that has ever kept a sketchbook. And I was discussing in the question and answer video that's coming up. It's not out yet. That's coming up that I think my brain is my sketchbook. My phone is my sketchbook because I take a lot of photos and I compose there. I do croppings and things like that. I don't know. It's just a thing that I've never really kept a sketchbook. And it's fun because I had a mom say to me once that her daughter wanted to be an artist, but she wasn't sure if it was for her daughter because as she watched her daughter, she noticed that she never sketched. She didn't really keep a sketchbook. It wasn't what she thought typically an artist does. Artist. Who is a typical artist? Who? Is there such a thing as a typical artist? No. So what I found is that I told her that be confident and not to worry because I, as an artist, don't even, as a professional artist, don't keep a sketchbook. I just paint all the time. So I don't know what to tell you there. Tell me in the comments, do you keep a sketchbook? If you do, what do you tend to do in your sketchbook? Is it idea development? Because again, that's what I think. Like my brain is always just developing things. Sometimes I take, make a note about something that I want to explore or do, but generally I'm always in my studio, so I can just get to work and try it. Oh, there's that quiet time now. So, are any of you going on holidays? If you are, let me know where you're going. Let me know where you're going. And sometimes I change the color completely on the canvas and I have to go back and go, oh, no, either I like it or I don't like it. And honestly, I really was actually quite pleased when I was told that I had to do this because I was a little bit concerned about what was left on my palette. And I thought, well, maybe I would freeze my palette. I paint in acrylics, so freezing the palette actually will work. Have you ever heard of doing so? And if you have you done it? This piece was ordered by a designer and it is going in one of their projects. So I'm always so pleased when designers like my work and find something that is great because I know it's going in, I think, a public space, which is even better for exposure as an artist. I love it when my pieces go in a public space. And this actually was a custom order because on my website, I can't have every increment identified on the website. I can't have, inch by inch. And they needed something that was bigger for their site than what I offered on my website. And they wrote me personally, and I said, sure, I can get that done. And we did. We got it done. Oops, see there? I want to add a little more light. So I'm not sure how much you can see. You can see that I'm kind of going all over, back and forth. I'm stepping back just a little bit to see about weight. And sometimes what I'll do too is go kind of sideways, like kind of look here. I'll see if I can kind of look at it sideways. Here, I'll see if you can see. I don't know. You can kind of see where the sun is hitting. Do you see all the texture there? I will look at the piece sideways and see to make sure that I've got texture kind of all over. I think that was hard to see, but I think you did see a little bit of what I'm talking about. And I find it really shows up in the whites. So I tend to do the darks first, and then I go back in and add a lot to the whites and and lighter colors, because I find that when I do that, those pieces, that paint really just kind of stands out for some reason. All right, I got paint on my palette, on my brush. Where am I putting it? Where does it match? Okay. So I'm trying to build my channel with you guys. I so appreciate you watching the videos that I put out. My videography skills are lacking some days. So I know, and apparently somebody really hated my music last week and let me know, which I find is really funny because, you know, am I going to go back and change it? No, but I guess they're just trying to tell me that I don't either need the music or maybe that they just didn't like it. I don't know. So I'm not going to add any music to this one because I'm chatting away. And I was trying to do royalty-free music so that I didn't try to rip anybody off. And because I am earning somewhat on YouTube. And when you don't use royalty-free music, you share, which is absolutely right. Good thing I'm tarped. Paint on the floor. You share with the artist, the musician, unless it's royalty-free, the proceeds. And I'm happy to share, but if I don't need to, I'm also happy to do that. Okay, so we're getting to the point where I may need to think a little bit more. So here I'm going to add some great big thick strokes of white because honestly it does really show up. And I want the clients to be so happy that they ordered an embellished print. It's my most expensive print. And because I can never embellish it the same way again, it does make it a unique piece. Like I said before, it's not an original, but it's definitely unique. And I have such a blast doing this. It's a quick procedure because I'm not having to think and make the decisions that I did when I first painted the piece. So it's nice to just be able to paint with abandon almost and not too much thought. So I will finish this there, and then I will finish the painting, finish the print, let it dry. So the print has to dry fully, and then I will varnish it. And I varnish with Liquitex gloss varnish. Okay, so that's what I use. And it works wonderfully. It makes everything really glow and shine. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I am going to try to do some recording while I'm in Europe. I'm going to be doing some sketching. I've been not commissioned per se, but I'm going to be doing a collaboration with the people that are sending me the watercolor products. And I'm going to have days where I'm just kind of sitting and I'll be able to paint. So thank you for joining me. Like and subscribe, ring that notification bell. It helps. I'm sorry about my voice, but I'm happy summer's here. Well, it feels like summer today. I'm happy spring is here. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. We're heading into the weekend. See you later.